What's going on, guys? Nekoyami here, back again with another X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Now today I was in a battle stream of the one Integral. His channel link will be down in the description, and I picked up this guy, and his Twitter handle will be in the description as well. He goes by the name of Adam. His YouTube thing was, I believe, Sinnoh Plays, if I'm not mistaken. If you want that, I don't think there's anything too much on his channel, but regardless, what I've got today is another Wi-Fi battle. Now, looking at his team, it does seem fairly balanced. What I've got to watch out for is that Confragragus, because it will prevent my Conkeldurr from being able to damage the rest of his team, and I've got to watch out for that Mamoswine because my Victini, if it's locked into Thunder, will have to switch out on that and the Electivire. Now, looking at my team, I'm fairly confident that, you know, I've got a balanced team, but let's just go into the battle. It's gonna be a fun battle. It was a fun battle for me. Alright, Adam is issuing a challenge, as to be expected. I lead off with my Lucario. Now this thing is Focus Sash, so, you know, I can get off any one hit. Now, the reason why I stayed in here instead of switching out to my Gliscor is because, one, not only was I fearing the Ice Punch, but I've got the Focus Sash, and I was hoping that the Close Combat would knock it out. I ran the Damage Calculator, and it had a chance to OHKO if it had been a critical hit, because it does 97%, so he lived with just barely anything, and I'm thinking, okay, he's not going to keep this thing in, or he's going to keep this thing in. I go for the Extreme Speed, he switches out into his Confragragus. I can't do much, there's not much that my Lucario can do, so I'm going to have to use a Crunch, get off that little bit of damage. Of course, Confragragus's Mummy's going to kick in and make my ability Mummy, but there's nothing I can do. He goes for the Dark Pulse, which surprised me. I was expecting the Shadow Ball, which is what they usually do. Confragragus usually runs Shadow Ball and Will-O-Wisp over Dark Pulse. I'm not sure, but, you know, it's nice to see other people trying some new stuff. So I send out my Greninja. I've got Dark Pulse on this thing, so naturally I'm going to go for that. Should have predicted that. I didn't know what he was going to go into, but he goes out into his Talonflame. Now his Talonflame is not going to take this very well, to be honest. I get hit him off with the Dark Pulse, and it does just over 50%, but he gets the Citrus Berry back, which is rather unfortunate for me, but I can't stay in. A Brave Bird's gonna definitely OHKO me, so I gotta go. I'm going out into my Physical Wall, which is my Gliscor, which is an amazing little monster. I don't even get me started. I love Gliscor. I'm gonna take this Brave Bird, maybe not as well as I'd like, but I'm gonna take it pretty well. My Toxic Orb's gonna activate and activate my Toxic Heal next turn, which is amazing. If you don't know what Toxic Heal is, it's amazing. It's better than Leftovers. But it only comes on a few Pokemon, and Gliscor is one of them, and it's the premier defensive wall, so I've got no reason not to go for a Toxic here. Nothing on his team is going to want to take a Toxic, even the Electivire, and thankfully since it's below 6% HP, which if you don't know, the first turn of Toxic damage is 6%, and then it adds 6% for every turn after that, so it's down to 3%, so Toxic's going to take out the Electivire anyway. I get my Poison Heal back, and he's got a free switch into whoever he wants. I was figuring he was going to go out into the Mamoswine, and I was right. Here, I'm not sure what he was going to do, but, you know, I'm figuring, okay, I'm going to switch into my Assault Vest Conkeldurr. I run a different EV spread than most people on the Conkeldurr, so I know that I can take any one hit, probably take 2 hits, regardless if it's physical or special, especially against the Mamoswine, and you know what, I'm thinking, okay, I don't know what he's going to do, but predicting the Confragragus, since I'm a fighting type, he might get a free switch in, I'm going to go for the knockoff. Nothing appreciates a knockoff. But unfortunately for me, he does get the Mummy on, and I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get out. I'm not gonna deal with that. Only thing I can hit it with is a knockoff again. That's not gonna OHKO. That's not gonna knock it out. I'm not gonna hit it with an Ice Punch because it's not stab. So I'm going to go in my Victini. Now, this could have been potentially bad since he did reveal he had the Dark Pulse, but I predicted the Will-O-Wisp properly, and I get to go for the Blue Flare, and I am Choice Scarf, which is amazing. I get that just amazing speed bonus there. So, right here, and you know, I'm thinking, okay, he's got a free switch in on anything. He goes out to the Swellow, and I'm thinking, okay, this thing is definitely Guts. There's no reason to be running Scrappy, just its other ability. I gotta go out into my defensive wall. I take that little bit of Stealth Rocks damage, really doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. I predicted the Protect, I knew he was gonna do to try and get the Flame Orb off, and he switches out because he knows it's just not going to go well. Here, I know nothing's going to want to take a knockoff. Again, I have it on 2 Pokemon, which is, you know, sometimes a lot of people criticize me for that, but you know what, it really works. It's a surprise. I knocked off his Expert Belt, which, you know, it wasn't the best thing to knock off. I mean, I was expecting a Life Orb or a Focus Sash, but, you know, item gone is an item gone. I predict that. I don't know what he's got. His move is, I knew he had Stealth Rocks, but he's already got Stealth Rocks up, so I'm going to get out of here, because I do not want to take an Icicle Crush, because that would OHKO me. So I go back into my Conkeldurr. I know that I can take any one hit. I can probably take 2. He comes up with the Icicle Crash, and you know, the next turn I'm thinking, okay, this Mamoswine is definitely going to outspeed me, since I believe Mamoswine is base 90 speed, and they usually run Jolly. He goes off in the Icicle Crash, doesn't miss, and I'm just praying right here. I do not want to flinch. If I get a flinch, it's over for me. But I don't get flinched, and I get off the Drain Punch, which is going to give me that nice HP back, and it's wonderful. It's going to put me back up over 50%, and it's going to knock out the Mamoswine. So, right now, if nothing else, I can just sit in and with my Victini and take everything else out with a Thunder or a Blue Flare, something, and my Victini can sweep up for the most part. But here, he switches back into a Swallow, and I'm not going to take a Brave Bird. I'm not going to take an Aerial Ace or whatever this thing wants to throw at me. So I'm going to switch to my Gliscor. He predicts that, getting the Switch Initiative on the U-turn. Honestly, that surprised me, even though I know for a fact that most Swallows do run U-turn. It, unfortunately for me, it just didn't work out. Goes into the Sceptile, and this turn I'm thinking, okay, I'm not sure what this Sceptile is. Is it going to be a physical? Is it going to be a special? It reveals him to be a special. And I'm thinking this Leaf Storm, that just wasn't the smartest move for me. I'll be honest, it was not the smartest move for me to stay in on that Leaf Storm. But I do manage to get a little bit of damage off with the knockoff. Wasn't the best thing, but I figured, you know, I'm going to get this thing knocked off. It didn't predict it to have the White Herb, though. I was predicting him to go for something else. So I switch into my Sylveon. Here, my Special Wall, Sylveon, using the little tank. You wouldn't think this thing would be a special defensive wall, or, you know, just sponge up those hits. He goes for the Energy Ball. I knew I was going to just take that hit really well, but he gets a crit. I don't take it as well as I'd like. But he does go for the Hidden Power here for some reason or another. I don't know what Hidden Power this is. I don't know what he was thinking. Would have been better just to go for another Energy Ball since it's Stab and stronger. I go for the Wish here, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm predicting him to switch out here. And I've got, you know, I can get off an attack. If not, then there's nothing he can do to OHKO me. There's likely nothing he can do to OHKO me there. So he's going to switch out back into a Swallow, probably going to try and get off a side or something. I go for the Moonblast here. This does a heck of a lot of damage. Does a good, clean 80%, knocks him down into the red. All I have to do here is, after this burn damage, all I have to do is protect. He almost sealed his own fate. I don't know what he was expecting with Swell. I don't know if he was trying to get Death Fodder or something. But it does, unfortunately, not play out for him very well. His Swallow goes down to burn damage at the end of the turn. My Sylveon has already gotten the Wish back, as well as the leftovers. He's going to send out his Talonflame. Now, I knew that my Gliscor wasn't going to be able to take a Brave Bird, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get off a Toxic. If nothing else, I can stall this Talonflame out, because this Talonflame is a threat to my team. It can one-shot almost anything on my team, so I've got to be careful. He goes for the Brave Bird, and I'm thinking, okay, I can take one. And I do, in fact, take one. I don't take it as well as I would have liked. He does take a little bit of recoil damage. I go for the Wish, and he takes the Toxic damage at the end of the turn. I get leftovers back at the end of the turn. And, you know, everything seems to be playing out pretty well for me. Unfortunately for me, however, he does protect, and he goes, no, there's not much that I could have done to prevent him from going for this Swords Dance, but I could have gotten off a little more damage, to where perhaps that the Toxic damage would have been able to take him out at the end of the turn, if I had protected on the next turn, however. But since I went for the Protect this turn, he went for the Sword Stance and he predicted me. I'm back up at full health, and I'm thinking, okay, if he gets a minimum damage roll, I might be able to live this one Brave Bird. Not sure, Sylveon's physical defense isn't pretty good, but I get one shot. OHKO. And that's the end of my Sylveon, unfortunately. But the recoil damage does take him out, which is good for me. If he hadn't, the poison damage definitely would have taken him out after, I think, 4 turns in. that toxic damage was at 24%, and after that recoil, he was definitely going to go down. So he brings in his Sceptile. It's the last remaining Pokemon. I've got no reason not to go into my choice of Scarfectini. I get off the Blue Flare. That amazing attack. Can I tell you how much I love Blue Flare? That's just a beautiful animation. This Sceptile's not going to live that, and goes down to it at the end of the turn. And that is a wonderful 4-0 victory in my favor. So with all that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please feel to leave a like down there, leave a comment. If you'd like to see something, please let me know. If you like to, my Twitter and Facebook are in the description. And with that, if you want to hit me up with the battle, I'm usually on Twitter. So with that being said, I'll see you guys later.